Hey there, and welcome to today's Daily Dose of Awesome. My name is Brandy Shaver, coming to you live from freezing cold Utah. When you're coming in, comment in who you are, where you're coming in from. If you're watching this on the replay, drop me a hashtag replay and come back in and say hello to you in a few minutes. But I'm excited and honored to be here. I'm going to share with you the 3 steps to take your network marketing business from zero to hero online in less than a year. And I'm excited about today's topic. I'm excited about being able to share with you. Now, just drop me a comment down below if you've ever wondered how you can take your network marketing business from nothing, or maybe going backwards, to really thriving and moving forward and really winning some amazing trips and things inside of your business in just a few short steps, right? Our businesses feel like it's this overwhelming elephant when we first bring it online. And Bart says, yes, he's still wondering on how to do that. So we're going to talk about that today. Welcome to some of you that are jumping on. Thank you for joining us. We've got Bart and Chuck and Lydia. Nice to have you. Great. Some of my comments are working, so I'm excited about that. So I know that you're live and I know that you're here. So number 1 is define your brand. Now, I know a lot of us, we want to jump right into creating content and bringing people into our business and, really just hitting it head on with the work piece. And sometimes we get so, ahead of ourselves that we forget the most important piece. And if our message is not solid and it's not congruent with who we are and who we want to be, then the rest of it doesn't really come together. So this is super important to take the time to figure out who you are. Define your brand, define who you are. Now, what kind of value? These are some questions that you can ask yourself. And if you know what your brand is, drop me a number 1 down below, because I'd like to see how many of you know exactly what your brand is. Now, if some of you are still confused, that's okay. Just drop me a number 2 down below so that I can kind of see where our audience is at as we are doing this, because it's important that that we speak to who we are in front of as we build this out for you. Okay. So if you know who you are and what kind of value you want to bring to your audience, or who your audience is, drop me a number 1. Okay. Now, if you don't, if you're still confused on that piece, drop me a number 2. And again, that's okay. But you want to, if you are confused, you're going to want to take some time. And if you have put this together, I want you to go back and revisit it and make sure that it's super clear on who you are speaking to, who you are looking for, and what your brand is. Now, your brand is going to change and morph as you change and morph a little bit, but your main brand, who you stand for, who you are, is going to stay. All right. So let's just check the comments here, maybe if they will work. All right, cool. So we've got some 1s, we've got some 2s. All right, cool. Some of you are a little bit in between. Awesome. So there's some questions to ask yourself. You're going to want to take some time. I would suggest today, because the faster you can figure this out, the better. But if you could take some time today and just, even 10 minutes, not a lot of time, right? A lot of us take more time than necessary to figure this out. But figure out who you want to serve. What do you want to stand for? Who are you? And who do you want on your team, right? And maybe you've already chosen that team. Maybe you're in a network marketing company already, and that's great. You want that to align with who you are as well. So you want to make sure that those things line up, all right? So you're going to want to ask yourself, how do I want to affect other people? How do I want to help them grow? And what problems do I want to help them solve? Okay, so that would be your first questions to ask on figuring out who your brand is. And yeah, Cindy, between a 1 and a 2. Cool. So you're starting to figure it out. All right. So this is the main piece of what you've got to figure out. You've got to figure out who you are and who you need to be in order to be the person that you want to be. Okay. You have to figure it out first before you're actually that, right? You want to be super clear on that, your vision. All right. Now, step 2, you got to get super consistent on what you're doing by sharing your message, sharing your passion, getting it out there. And I suggest that you go live on your page, personal, fan page, both, whatever you want to do, about what you're doing, about what you're sharing. And again, no name of network marketing company or products. Okay. Keep this on Attraction Marketing, where we're using curiosity, we're solving people's problems, we're giving them education. But I suggest you go live on your page 30 days in a row. Now, I know some of you just was like, okay, well, I can't do that. Well, I got news for you. You can, and I would suggest that you do. Now, what I see happens is that people get super consistent, but a very short time, right? They'll get super consistent for maybe 2 weeks, and then they're like, oh, this isn't working. I'm not getting enough engagement. People aren't joining my team. Nothing's happening, all right? How many of you have felt that way? Drop me a number 3 down below so that I can kind of see where some of you are at. But what I find is that most people that move their businesses online, they don't stay consistent long enough where they start to see results. And actually, if you've heard the story about the people that sold their mine and then the person that bought it found gold like 1 foot into the mountain, this is exactly what you're doing in your business, because you're consistent for a certain amount of time, and then you're measuring your success based on results, okay, instead of based on the actions that you're taking. And so if you would stick with it just a little bit longer, you will see that you will find that you're going to get more engagement, more results, those kind of things. Now, to kind of give you an idea, I just had a conversation with somebody over a call this last week, and they were concerned that they're not having a ton of people jump on their, and this was their fan page, okay? So they were concerned that they're not having a ton of people jump on their fan page. And they're new, right? They've only been around for about 3 months, building consistently on their fan page. And so I wanted to give you a little analogy of how this works, all right? So on a fan page, it's a very pay-to-play platform at this point. And that's totally okay, because you still need that platform. There's a lot of benefits for using a fan page. You definitely need a fan page. So follow the training, follow exactly what Elite Marketing Pro is teaching you, because it works, okay? The one thing that I want you to think about is right now on my page, I have over 20,000 followers. So I'm going to give you a compare and contrast for this, okay? I have 20,000 followers. Whenever I do a live, it doesn't matter time of day, it doesn't matter day, it doesn't matter how many times a week. There are usually never more than 25 people on that live, okay? So I hope that gives you some perspective of, and I'm sure I could get more people on the live by letting them know, right? Getting more consistent about the day, getting more consistent about the time, but I do what works for me. And I just want you to know between 20,000 followers and about 25 are usually on live, okay? Most people are gonna see the replay. So I want you to understand that you getting out there, and video is the fastest way for you to connect with other people. So that's the reason we want you to go live. The other thing that I suggest you do the 30-day live for is so that you can get over yourself, all right? Now, how many of you have had any issues about going live, right? Terrified about getting in front of the camera. I'm still terrified. In fact, I'm sweating buckets being in front of you. I was freezing until I got on this live, all right? So let's see what some of you are saying about this 30-day live deal. So 30 days in a row, Bart says he can do that. Do they have to be the same time of day, Bart? That's totally up to you. I would say consistency. The more you can be consistent and people can plan on you, that yes, you want to be consistent. But again, don't let that stop you, okay? So do what works for you as long as you're consistent, all right? Now, usually when people start getting consistent after the 30 days, they will evaluate and they'll look at it, except they don't evaluate the right way, okay? They don't evaluate what worked, what didn't work, what might I do different. All they do is say, nobody joined my team and I didn't make any money, I'm out, okay? That's usually what people say. And so when you are evaluating, I want you to evaluate from day 1 to day 30, first of all, your growth. Second of all, the engagement that you find. And third, I want you to start to understand that most people will watch you for a very long time before they ever buy anything from you or even opt into any of your offers, okay? So you want to make sure that you stay consistent. People are waiting for you to show up, all right? So don't quit when you don't get the results that you don't want. You may have a longer journey figuring out what works for you. All right, now step 3 is get your mindset right, okay? So it would make sense, right? If you've gone 30 days live, that you consistently go live to keep building that audience, right? Think about this. If I come to your door and I ask you to buy something and you've never met me before, you're gonna be like, who is this lady, right? And no, I'm not buying anything that she's giving me. But if I continue to put a video in front of you and I help you solve your problems, I help you learn something new, I build the know, like, and trust, and then I come to your door 30 days later and say, hey, Chuck, would you love to, join me in this venture that I have going on? I'd love to work with you. Most of you would be all in, right? It would depend on your situation, but think about that for a second, how powerful that is, building that know, like, and trust. And that's how you're going to do that, by being consistent with your message, all right? Getting your message out there and helping other people, serving other human beings, all right? So step number 3, get your mindset right. 98% of what is happening is up here, okay? So you've got to figure that out. You've got to do some personal development. How many of you are doing personal development every day, right? How many of you understand that being an entrepreneur is not always roses, buttercups, and unicorns, right? I wish. I totally wish that you just decided you're an entrepreneur and that 30 days later you're making $1 million a month. That's not how this works, right? So come from a place of abundance with what you're doing online, okay? There's a lot of people that come into network marketing that when they get online, they come from a place of non-abundance, right? What's the word? A non-abundance mentality, right? They're always worried about, oh, well, nobody's, the people say this won't work, or my uncle said this won't work, or my mom says I spend too much time building my business, or whatever, right? You want to come from a place of abundance. There are billions of people out there, okay? And I want this to sink in. So make sure you're listening to this piece. There are billions of people out there, okay? And there are some that are wondering where the hell you are and how come you haven't shared with them how they can build their business online. Or they're wondering how come you haven't shared your network marketing company with them because they would love to make money as well. So, I mean, really, really let that sink in. There are people out there that are wondering, where are you? They're on their knees praying for you and you're not showing up. So drop me a number 5 if that hits you right in the gut, right? Because this isn't about you. It never was. It's about the person that you're supposed to be there to help. All right. So you gotta stick with these 3 steps to take your network marketing business from 0 to hero. And it is going to take almost a year. Okay. I'm not going to promise this is going to happen in 30 days. Most people here in Elite Marketing Pro that make decent money, it took almost 12 months, if not a little bit longer. So that's where you want to measure where you're at and become effective at evaluating. So let's just really quickly go over those and let's see. My comments quit working. Let's see if they're working. Oh, yep, they are. Okay, cool. So some of you are dropping some 5s. Cool. Awesome. Yes, scarcity, Rebecca, that's the word I was looking for, right? So I get super nervous still when I'm on lives. I love it. So number 1 is define your brand, okay? Figure out who you are going to be, figure out what you're going to stand for, figure out what you're passionate about. Step number 2 is stay consistent, okay? Get your message out, share with people, serve other people, grow your audience, engage with those people, right? And step number 3 is get your mindset in the right place because it is going to be hard. Right? It's not rainbows, unicorns, and buttercups. You want to make sure that you know this is hard going in, and you're gonna fight with yourself on a daily basis, sometimes even more than 5 times a day, to not quit. Right? How many of you have been there? I would be raising my hand for sure. So you want to make sure that you understand that there are people out there waiting for you, and to get your mindset right so that you can be the person that you need to be to help them move forward. So I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day, and we'll see you next time on the Daily Dose. Bye-bye.